Thank you for coming and braving the possibility of maybe a storm. Just so you know, my wife has heard this before. About 8 years ago, we were playing at the gazebo, and in the second number, my wife was doing bass drum. The chief of police tapped her on the shoulder and said, your husband has to stop now. There's a tornado coming. We need to evacuate immediately. So she got my attention. I stopped, and I just looked at the band, and I said, everyone go home now. And then I went to the audience, go home. Go. Do not collect $200. Anyway, so I think the weather, look, I think the weather's going to be fine. So thank you for coming. The Republican Committee, I just want to make you aware, it's free, freeze pops, popcorn, and water. It's all free. So if you're thirsty or you're hungry, just go over there and grab something there. And we're just going to have fun playing tonight. So without further ado, nice to see you. Without further ado, if you are able to stand, we're going to do the Star Spangled Banner and then the Washington Post March. right, thank you very much. Thank you. And once again, thanks to the town of Lunenburg for supplying the finances for us to do this. So I will say that a couple of times. Thank you to everyone, because you're helping to fund this and all that. Hey, we opened with the Washington Post March, which was by John Philip Sousa, one of the most popular marches that he wrote. I found this interesting because it was requested by Barara Wilkins, a former congressman from Ohio. Since we had the Republican people here, I thought that was interesting. They requested Sousa, the leader of the U.S. Marine Band, compose a march for the Washington Post newspaper's essay contest. And thus we have the Washington Post March. Next, we're going to feature our low brass section. This gentleman wrote a march called Them Basses, where the bass section has the melody all the time. So we're going to feature all of them today with a march called Them Basses. So you heard it here. We have an awesome bass section, and they did an awesome job with them basses. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue. Usually this is when I do a classical piece, and in the first week I thought about doing the 1812 Overture to celebrate our patriotic 4th of July. When I taught, I used to teach the 1812 Overture is really written where the Russians defeat the French in the War of 1812. And we would reenact that in the middle school, and that was kind of a wild scene to reenact. People falling down. Now you're supposed to die here. You're supposed to run over here. It was a hoot. We had a great time. I didn't feel in this particular environment that it was a piece that we should play. And what I read was that many of the orchestras around the country have been playing this next piece instead. We're going to continue with a tone poem called Finlandia, written in 1900. Most of the piece is taken up with rousing and turbulent music, evoking national struggle of the Finnish people. During our recent times, many groups have performed this in the place of the 1812 overture, because historically the Finnish people and the country has been able to ward off any and all incursions by the Russians to stay as an independent country. Does that make sense? I'm probably not saying that as well as I could. So this song really celebrates Finland's success in overcoming foreign intervention. So we're going to play it for you, and I think it's the first time in Lunenburg we play it. Those of you who've been around for a while, I don't think we played Finlandia before. So this will be a new one for us. It's been around since 1900, but it's new for us. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. We were glad to celebrate Finland and some of their heritage. So now we're going to go meander to the golden age of Broadway. Some of the musicals of Rodgers and Hammerstein. We're going to feature Bowie High, The Carousel Waltz, Getting to Know You, Oklahoma, and then we end with Climb Every Mountain. So like a hodgepodge of the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, top 5 of the top 10, something like that. Come along, Kathy Perry.
This is a cleansing palate thing, okay? This is especially the puppets have been working kind of hard. Well, there we go. Some nice tunes from the golden age of Broadway. We will be playing something a little more contemporary a little later on. But first, it's what, number 4, the 4th movie came out this summer. You know, people are beginning to come out again after being indoors due to the pandemic and COVID, and people are beginning to come out. It's wonderful to have you here today, and it's wonderful that we can spread out and be safe. Well, one of the big films a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago now, was something called Jurassic Park or something like that. Well, I have the theme from movie number 1. Those of us who are old enough to remember that first one when we went, whoa, when that T-Rex went into the car and tried to bite. Yeah. So we're going to play a little bit, kind of relax our ears a little bit and play a little bit from Jurassic Park. We are starting in measure 2. Measure 2. We're skipping measure 1. We're skipping measure 1. Do not play measure 1. Measure 1 is out. No measure 1. Don't play the rest either. I used to teach the kids this on recorder. Listen, who here, 20 kids. The bigger band. And bigger band. Oh, yeah. That was back when it was bump. Ready? Anyway, that was a theme from Jurassic Park and from the original. Hey, we're going to go back into American folk song, and we're going to play a trilogy. This is called the Trilogy, 3 songs. A little bit of When Johnny Comes Marching Home, a little bit of Aura Lee, and a little bit of a song that stumped my wife. It stumped her, and she knows every song in the world.
Almost, obviously. Bound for the Promised Land. And the thing is, I couldn't come up with the title of it up. You know, I'm humming the thing, looking at the score, going, I know this song, I can't remember the title, and the composer doesn't write the titles in here. So I looked it up. Bound for the Promised Land. And when we play that last section, many of you are going to go, oh, I've heard that before. Now you know what it is, Bound for the Promised Land. Okay. So we did some Broadway a few years ago, Broadway. We did some folk songs a few years ago. So now we're going to delve into my father and my youth. All right? Think about that for a minute. When my father was, well, probably didn't get a TV till later in his life. When I was in my youth, it was black and white, a little TV. In Blackstone, Mass, we got all 4 channels, you know, channel 4, 5, 38, and maybe 25. You know how it was. Well, here's something to help you remember. This is music from the 30s to the 80s. We are going to play snippets of McHale's Navy's March, the Addams Family main theme, Leave It to Beaver, Happy Trails, The Lone Ranger, Maverick, oh, there's a show, theme from Dragnet, The Ballad of Gilligan's Isle, Groucho Marx, You Bet Your Life, Perry Mason, oh, I used to watch Perry Mason, think of that one, Alfred Hitchcock, and then the theme from MASH. So, I'm sure most of you have heard some of those. I've actually seen all of those, except for, there was one. I can't remember which one. I think it was Happy Trails.
That's Roy Rogers.
Yeah, I think I was too young for that one.
Quack, quack.
So I'm going to how many of you don't have to raise your hands. How many of you recognized every theme? Huh, isn't that something? Isn't that something? There's a hoot from the past. And you know, I'm playing it, and I'm thinking of all those some of the great shows. Some of them, they're okay. So, we're going to go from TV to movies. I often like to play something from Disney or something like that. And so tonight, for some odd reason, I'm going to play the finale from Fantasia. The original Fantasia, the finale. So, it's called Night on Bald Mountain, and if you've watched Fantasia at the end, you got all these witches and mountains, they're flying in your face, and they're doing all kinds of things. And this piece depicts the witches at Sabbath and is associated with Halloween. And it was a wonderful ending to Disney's Fantasia, because it really... You know, sometimes you're listening and you're kind of like nodding off a little bit, you're watching TV or something, you're kind of, this would come on and you're like, whoa, you know, would wake you up. So, A Night on Bald Mountain, or A Night in Lunenburg. You know, I don't know how much fun you're having. We're having a hoot of a time up here. I love being up here because I get to do a lot of things. So we're going to do, this goes out, I believe Mr. Murphy is here. Is Mr. Murphy? Oh, Mr. Murphy, this goes out to you. All right? And I'm going to ask you, Mr. Murphy, if you can, after we're done, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 songs. Many of them have an Irish flavor. So what I'm going to do is, audience, can you name the 7 songs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, there's no Danny Boy. That's, this is Sushi, -2. Sushi, go. -2 for you. So you have to come up with 9 songs. All right, it's titled Bits of Old Time Hits.
So, I'm going to mention all the... Did anyone think they got all of them? Yeah, I don't think so. All right, here you go. The first one was Gary Owen. That automatically took out a whole bunch of you, I'm sure. Then it was St. Patrick's Day. It was St. Patrick's Day. Then the Irish Washerwoman, which I think most of you probably got. Pop Goes the Weasel, which I bet you got. Wearing of the Green. Mr. Murphy, did you get the wearing? Oh. Arkansas Traveler, should have been gotten by many of you. And Fisher's Hornpipe. See, you thought it was going to be like the top 7 Irish kind of... No, this one went into some really interesting versions. All right. Well, it was fun anyway. So, at this... Whoa. Didn't mean to pick this up. So I just want to remind you, there's free water and freeze pops and popcorn over there. There's no, if you've been wondering, there's no 50-50. No one thought of it. So next year, put it on your list. So we're going to play a march. I thought usually I would do the 50-50 after this march, but we're going to do the Do Colonial March by R.B. Hall. So there was our march for the mid-concert. We're going to move on to a musical. I like to do a musical in this part of the concert, and we did the golden age of Broadway earlier. Now we're going to do something a little bit more risque. These are selections from Chicago, and the weird thing is Devens, Neshoba, Burlington, and 4 or 5 other places, all those high schools did Chicago this spring. Every time I looked up, there was some school doing Chicago, the high school version. If you've seen the movie, you'll know why it's called the high school version. This medley will include And All That Jazz, the Cell Block Tango, Roxy, and We Both Reached for the Gun. So if you've seen this musical, it's a great musical. It's got great music, great acting, and some wonderful character development.
We are having fun up here, one way or another. So we're going to do another tidbit from a musical. I guess tonight is musical night. When I was going through everything, they just caught my attention. What was really interesting is this is titled From the New Musical, which is copyrighted in 1966. So this was a new musical in 1966. It's an old one now, just so you know. And it's the basic theme from Cabaret. The theme from Cabaret. So that was a little taste of a brand new musical that just came out in 1966. Next up, we're going to... I know this music from when it came out in rock and roll, but a lot of people know this music because it was featured in the movie Back to the Future, when the main character's parents were beginning to maybe not to meet, and he was going to be faded out and maybe not be in the future, and they were doing the dance. The... No, yeah, Chuck Berry, but it was what's the dance? The dance was the sea dance.
He was doing the Earth Age.
The enchanted dance. Yeah, the enchanted sea. Enchantment of the sea. Anyway, so Chuck Berry, this guy, what's really cool is this guy's playing, and he injures his finger, you know, in an accident, whatever. So he's on the phone talking to his brother, and he says, "It's your brother, Chuck Berry." And it's like, whoa, this is Chuck Berry, he can't play. Well, at the time, when I was teaching school, I would teach that song, and I would teach how important that song was, and then we'd watch the clip from the movie Back to the Future, and you could see all the stylized Chuck Berry things that Michael J. Fox did, and it's a hoot to watch. The original Chuck Berry, Johnny Be Good YouTube video, and then watch this scene. So we're going to play Johnny Be Good. It doesn't matter to me which era you think of, but just relax and enjoy.
One, three. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3.
So after doing Johnny B. Good, can you picture him dancing on the stage and he does the chicken? The thing that really got me the most is when he looks at the band and says, "Just give me blues and B." Like, blues and B. Who practices blues and B? Right? Well, I guess guitar players. Right? Anyway, so that got me thinking of my high school days. And one of my memories of high school jazz band is playing Joy to the World, or subtitled Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. So I'm going to give you something I used to play in high school in jazz band. I was the bari sax player at that point, so I have no clue what this trumpet part is. I just know the bari sax part. But anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, I had to give some instructions to the band. We're going to finish up here. I'm going to thank you as an audience. First off, thank you for coming, and it did not rain. Tell all your friends that this is a rain-free zone. Rain-free. How are the bugs? Are there bugs out there? They're probably just none? Oh, that's good. I thought there might be a few. I want to thank the town of Lunenburg for sponsoring us. They're the ones who financially sponsor us, give us a place to play, give us the opportunity to post on whatever we post on. I don't do social media, so the posted gets posted where it gets posted, and all that. And everyone here from the school department, town hall, select board, who approved this year's budget for the thank you, because we played several numbers from that. We're going to play one next week. Oh, speaking of next week, I have an awesome arrangement of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It is an awesome arrangement. And my daughter's going to love this. Carmina Burana. You all know the song. It's played on every sports channel all over the place. Just so you know, it's dirty Latin songs set to music. We will play Back to the Future, because that was a little intro earlier. And for my granddaughter, we're going to play My Fair Lady, because for her birthday at 9 years old, she went to her first musical in Providence, My Fair Lady. So right now, we're going to play, I'm trying at the end of each concert to highlight one of our service. The last time we played, we ran out of time, unfortunately. But we're going to play Anchors Away, and then fairly quickly into our theme song, Good Night, Lunenburg. So I want to thank you for hanging in there. You've been wonderful. We've enjoyed playing for you, and I hope you enjoy this.
1, 2, 3. forward to next week. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, be there or be square. Thank you. Thank you.